Elnézést! Mi? Áj! Áj! Áj!
You know what people are really afraid of? The unknown. People tend to be intimidated and scared by things that they don't possess information about. Information that can help them navigate through daunting situations. In today's video, we'll be walking you through some of the creepiest things found in the deep, dark woods. Things that have only been caught on tape. The mysterious man. As far as folklore goes, this is one that might make you shift in your seats. Found in Switzerland, this mysterious figure was apparently seen for the first time in nearly a decade. Now, this figure is one that's intimidating because, again, we don't know a lot about him. Besides some facts such as that he supposedly takes the same path every day. Other than that, nobody really knows anything about him, and only one picture of him exists, which was very recently taken, but that too is rather disconcerting. But well, apparently, he's never actually shown any aggression towards anyone that's had the misfortune of encountering him. Nonetheless, he continues to strike fear into nearby residents and visitors who just want to know who he is and why he chooses to walk around like that. He's over 6 feet or nearly 2 meters tall and may not even be a man. Crazy theories exist about him. These theories range from it being someone with a strange skin condition to a hermit obsessed with the end of the world. Perhaps a spirit, or maybe even someone who's just got a very bad clown outfit. But, well, scares the bejesus out of us nonetheless. Clowns, a peculiar place for lighting up the circus. Speaking of clowns, what else could get scarier than finding a solitary clown right in the middle of the forest? Even if some think that clown sightings is scary enough, and while others think there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to these party performers, we'll have to admit that spotting a clown, even if you don't have fear of clowns, that might still throw you off. Why on God's green earth would a clown in full gear be wandering in the middle of the woods? More importantly, why would it stare right into the trail cam? Trail cameras are often camouflaged so that they don't disturb the natural environment or cause distraction in the world around them. Clearly, this clown that was photographed had no problem detecting the hidden cameras. Is this just another trail cam hoax by someone trying to get attention? A prank being pulled by some prankster with a slick sense of humor? Or maybe there's a psycho killer clown lurking in the woods out there, trying to lure in children to a hidden forest torture center. Who knows? But well, it's just plain creepy. A mystery in the background, in the fog. There's a popular picture where apparently 3 forest hikers attempt to take a picture in the middle of the forest, with the atmosphere filled with mist and a load of fog. And well, forests tend to be like that. Yes, they may give off that very movie-like, eerie vibe that foreshadows danger, loss, or any other redundant theme in a horror or thriller movie. But well, that's still doable. What's just downright terrifying is that in the same setting, there's a mysterious figure that lurks in the background, almost wanting to make its presence known, but not quite clear. Like a taunt. This was seen in the picture of 3 friends who wanted to remember their journey in the creepy wooded area. Sure, maybe it's just another person passing through the woods, but the people who took the picture don't recall seeing anyone else while out on their journey. The scariest and probably the most intriguing, yes, self-preservation instincts go out the window a lot of time, is the figure in the back that doesn't look totally human. The torso looks much shorter and bigger than the common man, with skinny legs to match. It makes us think that maybe the figure is hunching over, just has a scarier demeanor altogether. No matter what the case, photographs like these make us not want to go into the woods, like ever. An earth that breathes. In a video filmed in Sacré-Cœur, Quebec, Mother Nature appears to be gasping for air, quite literally. Even the surrounding trees are struggling to stand under the literal force of nature. When they say that the earth is alive, they don't mean that it's literally alive and breathing in oxygen. Yet it seems like that's exactly what a man in Canada seemed to have caught on film. He posted this creepy footage in a Facebook group, but nobody was able to figure out exactly what's happening in the video. But, well, even if the phenomena seems eerie, it still can be explained. Our theory is that it's fungus, seeing that biologically it itself is an organism that breathes and feeds on other decomposed matter, is making the earth move, or else a shallow root system of the trees is moving along with the wind. But no one really knows. Carnivorous trees have been mentioned in folklore for many years, but the truth is often stranger than fiction, and myths are often rooted in reality. However, from a scientific perspective, this creepy incident might be explained via inclement weather. During a rain and windstorm event, the ground becomes saturated, loosening the soil's cohesion with the roots as the wind is blowing on a tree's crown. The wind is trying to push the trees over, and as the force is transferred to the roots, the ground begins to heave. If the winds were strong enough and lasted long enough, more roots would start to break, and eventually, some of the trees would topple. Simply, the strong winds are moving the trees and causing the root system to lift the forest floor, making it look like the earth is breathing. Who knows what to believe? There's a lack of evidence for both. Objectively, it's just a creepy sight. A cheerful execution. In this case, there's a picture where a man is about to be executed and is smiling big as though he's part of an elaborate prank, right in the middle of a thick forest. Being shot on black and white film adds to this eerie charm of the picture. In reality, he's a Russian spy about to be executed in Finland in 1939. You might wonder what he could possibly be smiling about, if he knew something we didn't, or if there actually was some sort of humorous element to this entire situation. The reality is much more simple. He simply knew that there was no way out and that these were his final moments. Since it was going to be photographed, he decided to do nothing other than smile. This was his last attempt at defiance and to preserve his integrity. A final way to show that those killing him still held no power over him and that he was at peace with his death. For many spies, they knew that this would likely be their fate, and he had still done all he could to fulfill his duty. This makes for a pretty daunting scenario, but also for a good story to tell around the campfire in the middle of the forest. A plane crash in the Lost and Found. It's a rather odd sight, finding a plane crash from years ago on your way into the forest. So much left unsaid, so many lives lost, untended to. Imagine walking through the woods one day when you stumble upon this terrifying sight. Thankfully, the plane that was missing for so long was at least found, so the families have had time to mourn their loss and bury their loved ones instead of having to wonder where on earth they could be. Since it had been so long, you can tell that there isn't much left of the passengers, who, unfortunately, lost their lives when the plane went down, as you could make out skeletons within the rubble of the plane. Photographs like these are absolutely tragic, but are reminders of what happens when a terrible accident like this happens. It's just supremely unfortunate and has the capacity to haunt you for days. So we can't even say if it's creepy, it's just soul-stirring. A carcass unifies with nature, death and life, rebirth arc. It seems that life and death are two sides of the same coin, and that coin is nature. In various instances, as it isn't exactly a rare sight, you can see it looks as though it's the decomposed corpse of a deer. There's nothing too out of the ordinary until you look closely and realize that mushrooms growing on the deer's body were decaying. A sight like this can really upset us for several reasons. What might have happened to the deer to cause it to die here? There's a good chance it died of natural causes, but was there something about the death that made it sprout mushrooms once the corpse decomposed? Clearly, something caused the fungus to come out of the ground. Was it just the decaying corpse, or something much more sinister? Some might think it's a beautiful display of how nature works when no one's watching. Others find the photograph hard to look at without feeling very icky and sick overall. Not for the faint of heart, not in the slightest. Well, that's enough spooky and creepy content for today, guys. Hope this hasn't disturbed you a whole lot. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Oh, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. See you next time.